Hello, welcome to the channel or platform, whatever you're watching on. Today, I have over 100 orders to ship out today. So that's going to include my personal eBay, mine and Brandon's eBay, and we have whatnot orders going out today. So we have a lot of stuff going out today. If you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, we're trying to improve this, or I'm trying to improve this. It still seems to be a little choppy. Hopefully I can get that figured out because it seems to be working fine on TikTok. So hopefully I can get that worked out with why YouTube and Facebook is looking a little choppy. Okay, like I said, I've got over 100 orders going out today. So we're going to start with my eBay. And I recently got Auto Posher, not the relisting tool. I just got the Auto Posher where it shares and relist my items, and we have been selling some older stuff. So welcome if you're just now coming in. Like I said, 100 items to ship today, starting with my store. Something that's been sitting there for a long time is this Cardinals cup. We sold this for $6.12 before shipping. Again, if you missed it, I recently got Auto Posher. I have a year subscription to Vindu, so I'm doing like just the part on Auto Posher that relists and shares all my items. And I think that's been helping because I've been selling some of my older items. So once they get relisted, it's helping them sell. But the bulk of our items today came from a whatnot sale that I just did yesterday with Brandon, directly from the storage unit. And we sold 100 video games yesterday. So we're going to be getting to that in just a little bit. I'm not going to bubble wrap this. It doesn't need it, but I will put packing paper in here so it doesn't move around. Welcome if you're just now coming in. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Got my phone a little further than normal. Let's move it a little closer so I can see. Okay. Again, selling this first item that we sold for just a little over $6 before shipping. Give the old shake test. Doesn't move, so we're good. Welcome, welcome if you're just now coming in. Let me slide that over. How's everybody's weeks going so far? Any good thrifts? I doubt there's been any Tuesday, Wednesday garage sales going on, but let me know if you guys have been finding any Facebook deals or anything. Let me grab my pen. Also going to do my best to actually weigh them. When I've been doing these lives, I've just been writing the item, and then when it's time to go to ship it, I have to grab everything and reweigh it. So we're going to try to weigh it as we go today. So just under a pound. And it's the Cardinals cup. I only had, I think, 3 or 4 items from my store today, but we have a ton of whatnot orders going out today. And I had some on mine and Brandon's as well. Okay, next item we have here. These sold for $29.99, and it's a pair of Wranglers camo pants. I don't normally pick up Wranglers, but when they're camo, I go ahead and do it. The jeans where I'm at the Goodwills, they always run $7.99. So I typically won't pick up Wranglers, but I will if they're the camo ones because I know those will sell. Grab a poly bag here. Best thing, the clothes don't always move the best, but they're super easy to ship. That's the best thing about selling clothes. Super easy to ship. So get this in the poly bag. Appreciate it if you're just now joining in. Let me know how your guys' sales have been. Any good sales this week? Me and Brandon have focused on a few whatnot shows, so we to ship out. I'm sure the post office was not very happy with us. I know we had to take up 2 carts yesterday, a whole cart for mine and a whole cart for his. Okay, these Wranglers are going at a 2-pound rate. And we can move on to our next item. What do we got? We have a hat. This hat actually came from mine and Brandon's store, but it sold on mine. This came before we actually joined and merged our stores together. So what we used to do would make purchases. If it was stuff that was worth selling for a decent amount, we would just share the profits. So I do have to send him a little bit from this. And this has been sitting for about a year now. I started it pretty high. It's from the 80s. Supposed to look like the hats from like the 50s and the 60s. This one sold for $38, and it did have a little bit of cat hair on there. Like I said, it's been sitting in the barn for a long time. Just want to make sure it looks nice when we get it shipped out. I thought I had all my boxes I needed, but I didn't get the 8x6x4s out. This is one of the most common boxes I use, is the 8x6x4. I use these for a lot of different items. So now we got some of these on hand so I don't have to go chasing them down. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you guys joining me. Like I said, got a ton of orders going out. 100 items on Whatnot yesterday. Sold 100 items, all video games, and we made $700 on just Whatnot yesterday. Get this hat in the box. It's not going to need any packing paper. It fits nice and secure. Anybody have any good sales this week? Any big plans for the weekend coming up? I know our garage sales are getting ready to fizzle out around here. This one's going to be going at an 8-pound rate. Sorry, 8-ounce rate. 8-ounce rate. So 8. It's a Coke hat. Okay, one more item on my store, I'm pretty sure. And that covers just my personal one. This is something that I kind of regret. Hey, what's going on, Flame? This is something I kind of regret picking up. I probably wouldn't do that anymore. It's a Miracle Made knife. There was a time when I was purchasing knives like this, if they were made in USA. They do eventually sell, but the profit's not great on them. So I paid probably like $1 for this, and I eventually sold it for $4.71 before shipping. Again, probably wouldn't pick this up anymore. Not the greatest brand. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to get it in some cardboard, so when it ships, it's not going to like poke out and cut anybody. I typically leave the handle out of the cardboard and just get the blade in there. Again, the knife's not going to get damaged. It's more just to protect the person that's delivering this, and I don't want it poking out of the packaging. And if you're not following us on Whatnot, give us a follow, because we've been doing some pretty good shows on there, and there's definitely deals. Hey, thanks for sharing the live, Jake. Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing it. Again, so now it looks like a butcher's knife. We got a nice layer of cardboard on there. That blade's not going to pop out and cut anybody or poke anyone. Get it taped up a little bit so it's not going to move. And then I'm pretty sure I just put this in a poly bag. I'll put a little bit of bubble wrap just on the handle just to give it a little extra protection, but I don't think it's really going to need it. But we'll get some bubble wrap on that handle. I think it'll fit in here. Maybe a little too long. It is. It's just a little too long. So I'll put a poly bag on each side of it. I don't need a ton of bubble wrap. We're just going to do one layer on it. Best sale for me this weekend was a pellet. Ah, gotcha. I used to have fun with the, not necessarily pellet ones, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on TikTok and not get in trouble. But a pellet projectile thingy. I used to play like airsoft when I was in high school. Had a good time with that. Again, not necessarily a pellet one. I do have a pellet in my barn. Just say pew pew. Thank you, Flame. A pellet pew pew. Okay, so we got that packaged up. This is going to take 2 poly mailers. So I'm going to put it in handle first. And as you can see, hey, thanks. Support from the Philippines. Appreciate it, Jake. So that sticks out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this poly mailer upside down into another one so it covers both sides, and then we'll be good to go. I really need to buy some different sizes. I pretty much just have this size that I get from my shipping discount on eBay. So I probably should get a couple sizes, but I don't have them at the moment. Again, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it may be a little choppy. I'm trying to work out the kinks on that, but I've been having a little difficulty. Okay, so we got both sides covered now. Now we just got to tape this bad boy up. Again, this was a knife that I probably would not buy again. Miracle Made was the brand. It's not going to look the nicest. eBay give you discounts on shipping supplies. Yes, if you have a store, it's a quarter, you get a coupon to use on shipping supplies. I think it's like, depending on what store you have, the price changes. I think mine's like $25. So once a quarter, I get that discount, and I pretty much just use it on these poly bags. I know Brandon is a big fan of the eBay tape, so he buys the eBay tape with his discount. But I like my tape. I get it from Sam's Club, so I don't have any reason. Again, not the nicest looking, but it's protected. We got that in the cardboard. It'll get to the buyer safely, which is what matters. Okay, this is going to go at a 8-ounce rate. 8 ounce. Okay, that covers my personal store. Now we get to move on to mine and Brandon's. And then we're going to do Whatnot last, because we got so many on Whatnot. I'm going to have to focus on that. Okay, let's see here. That covered my store. Moving on to mine and Brandon's. We have 9 orders that need to go out, but I actually only have 4 of them. So the other ones are at the storage unit. This is the only other size poly I have. And I actually got these from Family Video when they were going out of business. They had all these poly mailers. So I think I paid like $5 for the whole box of poly mailers. Okay, first item we have is a new with tag Calia Kick It Up shorts. So they're teal. If you watch my reels, I got these from the same place that we got the Bath and Body Works, where we paid, it was like $1 or 50 cents for each Bath and Body Works, and we made like $700 on that stuff. I think I got these for $1, and we sold these for $18 before shipping. Yep, 18 bucks. I have a lot of mid-tier video games that are in the range of 5 to 9. How would you move them faster? That's exactly what we've been doing on Whatnot. We've been moving our lower tier games on there, and we mix in some better stuff with it. So we sold a lot of games for $1, $2 on Whatnot. Also, I have a flea market booth, so I would put a lot of my video games in that range in the flea market booth. But the problem with the flea market booth is, even though they're cheap games, if they're cartridge-based games, headed to Rockville tomorrow. Any yard sales? I did Rockville last weekend, Daniel. I'm actually leaving on vacation this weekend. I don't know if Brandon is planning on heading back down to Rockville, but Rockville is the Covered Bridge Festival that I mentioned. So I did Thursday last week and Friday at Covered Bridge. So that's where I was at. I don't plan on going this weekend because we are going to be heading on vacation. But back to the video games, we move a lot of those in the flea market booth. But if they're cartridge based, even if they're cheap, people walk away with them. So we put them in our locked case. We put all video games in a locked case in our flea market booth. This is going to go at an 8-ounce rate. 8-ounce Talia. Okay, moving on. What do we got here? We've got this Cabela's Aztec shirt. Not sure where we picked that up. Probably Goodwill, and we have to pay $4.99 at Goodwill for this kind of thing. No, they are CDs, PS, Xbox. If you have Whatnot Flame, you can try moving them on Whatnot. We sold 100 video games yesterday. Most of them were the lower to mid tier, and we got like $1, $2, $3 for a lot of them. But if you want to hold people's attention on Whatnot, you also have to mix in some decent games, and you will take a loss on those decent games. So you just got to keep that in mind. You're not going to get full price on Whatnot. But this was $5, $4.99. We actually just picked one up at Covered Bridge, very similar to this with just different colors. The one we picked up at Covered Bridge Festival was actually not part of our route. And if you heard my story last time about how we had to travel a half hour away further because somebody said they had video games and their son was afraid to go into the basement because of spiders. Yeah, that's where we got this. Didn't get it from that house in particular, but because we went there, we picked this up on the way back home. Hopefully I may have to refold this. I do. I'm going to have to refold this. Sometimes I hate dealing with clothing. I am not a very good folder. Folding is definitely one of my weak suits. But if you don't fold these right, they won't go into your mailers necessarily the way you want them to. There we go. That should fit now. So this Cabela sold for $14.99. Daniel, are you headed to Rockville, you said? I've only ever went to the Covered Bridge Festival for one weekend, so I don't know how the second weekend works for those garage sales. Hobo, thanks for following. Really appreciate it. After we get these orders packed up from my eBay, we're going to move on to my Whatnot orders, which is the bulk of what's going out today. But sadly, garage sale season is coming to an end. You bundled those games up for 4 to 5 games for $15. No one bit. Folding is a breeze for me. Selling the clothes is not though. Why don't you like selling the clothes, Flame? Because they don't move? Let's see. This is going at a 1 pound rate. 1 pound rate on the Cabela's. Okay, moving on. I know we have a cat hoodie. Let me find it. There it is. This cat hoodie is new with tag, mustard yellow, and it sold for $31.49. We paid $5 for this at a garage sale. We got a bunch of hoodies from that garage sale. We had a cool Ariat one with a skull on it. We had a good Carhartt one. We also picked up a Carhartt jacket, and we only paid $5 a hoodie. They hardly move. I have Eddie Bauer, Ralph Lauren, American Eagle, Levi's listed, but take forever. They do take forever. For Levi's, my recommendation would focus on pre-2000, 90s stuff. I don't buy anything that's Levi's unless it's like a nice denim jacket. I would focus on the vintage for that. American Eagle, I don't purchase anything American Eagle unless it's new with tag or just super wild. Ralph Lauren, I would say the same. Stick to big graphics. And Eddie Bauer, I only sell the Eddie Bauer sweaters that are really nice. I try to limit the other clothing that I sell. So those brands aren't the greatest. I know Surf's Up loves the Ralph Lauren, but he's more knowledgeable on what to buy and what not to buy. I try to stick to vintage or bright, crazy graphics with that stuff. Okay, let's see. Will that fit? I think I'm going to box this one. Like I said, I don't have another size of mailer, and these heavy sweatshirts don't fit very well in those mailers. So we'll just put it in this box. Make it easy on myself. Obviously, I lose a little bit more money because I have to buy the boxes, but it's like less than $1 a box. So it saves me the headache of not having to deal with it as much if I just shove it in this box. And then I can move on. Sometimes time is more important than money and the headache of dealing with stuff. So way easier just to throw that in the box and then trying to stuff it into a mailer that it doesn't really fit in. It's going to go at a 3-pound rate. It's just over 2 pounds. So 3-pound rate. It was the cat hoodie. Okay. That covers everything that we sold on the eBay stores. Now we're going to move on to Whatnot. Whatnot is where I have the most sales this time. Go back to this. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, I've said this a few times, but if it's choppy, my apologies. I'm trying to figure out how to get those kinks worked out. For some reason, it doesn't appear that TikTok gets choppy, but when I go through Restream, it is choppy. Don't need the scale anymore. All of this stuff is pre-weighed. It's ready to go. Here are my packing slips for today. Big old stack. I was running out of ink, so hopefully I can read these, but I do have it pulled up on my computer. And then here are all my labels for my Whatnot orders today. I think we had just over 20 actual orders, but we sold 100 items. 100 items today. Okay, let's start with this. I think you can see, so you can see it on YouTube and Facebook. I'll move the camera for TikTok, but what I did is I'll pull up a couple of these. So when we run our orders, we just do a generic game. So like we just did 1 through 100. So when I run the Whatnot and I stand in front of the camera, I talk to the people. Brandon is the behind the scenes man. He puts all my numbers on. He preps the games. He makes sure that the discs look good. But then when it sells, he just puts the little sticker on there with painter's tape. Those will come off super easy. And then what I did here, and like I said, we'll move this camera. What I did here is I stacked them. So this is 1 through 10. As I move, I just set those down wrong. But we have the 10s, the teens, and I stack those up in the numbers that they sold. So then when I pull the orders, I can find them a little easier. But we have a ton today. So we're going to try to do this to where hopefully I can see what these say. Make sure that they're in the right order. And then I can tell you what the whole order's sold for. Let me pull this up. Okay, first person, they purchased an item box and they paid $27. So we got number 96 in the back. So they got this World Cup Soccer for Game Boy. We got 19, the Killer Instinct black cartridge. They also had 18. So NBA Jam, 10. This awesome Glover. And number 4. Obviously, you got to have the classic Mario and Duck Hunt. They also picked up number 3, which is Sky Shark for the NES. And they were the first purchaser of the first game of the show, which was volleyball. So somebody said, what not the worst for shipping? Why do you not like the shipping, Felix? Besides, there's just a bunch of it. When you sell on Whatnot, you know, we sold 100 items, so there's a ton of orders going out, but it's actually a little easier for me because I get to package them in one box. What do you not like about the shipping, Felix? Again, I could probably leave these stickers on here. The person that gets them could get them taken off pretty easily, but I go ahead and remove all of them. Pull this back up so in case I miss any comments over there. Thank you for following, Darkside. Appreciate it. We got a bunch of orders going out. This first person, like I said, bought 7 items for $27. So we definitely have deals on my Whatnot. So if you want some good deals, follow me on Whatnot. I don't like this painter's tape on the boxes, though. So we're going to take my heat gun that's not plugged in, apparently. I can unplug my scale. Do you get more, less, or market for your games? If you sell on Whatnot, so when you sell on Whatnot, just expect you're going to take a loss. You're not going to get market typically for your games. So I'm just going to add a little heat to this. This painter's tape comes off really easy on everything, but I just don't want to damage this box. Yeah, if you sell on Whatnot, just expect that you're going to take a loss on your stuff. People are on there. It's kind of like a garage sale. They want to get a deal. They're not going to pay market if they can go to eBay and get a perfectly guaranteed item with it cleaned up and looking nice for photos. The benefit of selling on Whatnot is I literally pick up the game, I show it, I describe it with my voice, and it sells. And it's quick. There's no way I would have sold 100 items on eBay, even if I would have priced them at the right amount. So you're going to take a little bit of a loss, but they move super quick. I'm going to just put a little bubble wrap around this cartridge so it doesn't move around in the box. That might be a little too thick. May have to rip this bubble wrap down a little bit. So yeah, there's definitely some good things and bad things about Whatnot. The more followers that you get on there and the more people in your shows, your prices will start to do better. And it's definitely a learning curve and an art form. For instance, yesterday, I was really trying to get people to stay in the show. So we had a couple better items. And what I would do is I would say, hey, if we can hold 30 people in the room, we'll run this box Super Nintendo game. And that actually did help quite a bit. But we had a pretty average group of about 20 to 30 in the show for most of it. Okay, that's not going to move around. So these 7 items, again, they got a deal because those 7 items were only $27 total. And the buyer had to pay the shipping on it. I don't think that'll fit. We'll create one of these boxes for this stuff. Does anybody else sell on Whatnot in here? I actually got my Whatnot going like 2 years ago, and I was running mainly clothes and wasn't really happy with the results, and it was hard to set up. My barn's set up a little better now for for internet before it wasn't. Hi, new to your channel. How long did it take you to get to Whatnot going? So my Whatnot is still not super huge. Cool, Ricks. I think I have just a shy little bit more than 200. But my my social media platforms just recently in the last couple months have really skyrocketed in views and viewers. So when I first started my Whatnot, I only had like maybe 400 or 500 people on Facebook. I didn't have a TikTok at the time. My Instagram was pretty small. So that number has been growing. So hopefully, the more we do these shows, that Whatnot will grow. But if you don't have the following, you're definitely not going to get closer to retail for your items. Okay, I think I'm going to pack up. I'm going to bubble wrap these NES games together. But Whatnot's pretty fun. I enjoy doing it. It's always nice to move a bunch of inventory at one time. And I don't mind being on camera, obviously. So Whatnot is not for everyone. If you have a hard time being on camera, you can just show the items that you're selling, which is what Brandon does. He's still gaining confidence about being on camera, even though he ends up in a lot of my reels. Thanks for that. Have been thinking about trying it for sports cards. I do not know anything about sports cards. I don't really understand the breaks and the way people do those. It's a market I just don't really understand. We just bought some sports cards last month, and we got a great deal on them, and they were all sealed packs. And we listed a couple of those sealed packs on eBay, but the bulk of that went to our flea market. I mean, we got hundreds and hundreds of packs, and we've been selling the packs for like $1.50 a piece. Again, unless we thought it was worth going on eBay. We did list a couple things, like the pack that has LeBron's rookie. We listed for like $100. I think there was the pack that maybe had Tom Brady's rookie possibly in it, or I think we did a Mahomes that sold for like $30. But yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable on sports cards. It's not really a market that I was ever into. As a kid, when I collected cards, it was almost always like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. I had some sports cards as a kid. I remember having like a cool Shaq one with a lion on it. But for the most part, I'm not very knowledgeable on that. So we're going to fold up this packing slip, shove it in the box. If you've been watching my lives for any amount of time, I love the packing paper. So we're going to get this filled with packing paper. And I always do the same thing with each of these. Got to give it the shake test. And it doesn't move, so it's good to tape. That's what we're looking for. A box that doesn't move around. Thanks, Cool Rick. I appreciate it. I try to ship in the mornings on live if I can. Yesterday, I had so many orders. Like, it was crazy. I did my own Whatnot. Me and Brandon did a Whatnot. So I did not go live yesterday morning. But I appreciate you watching. Now, the part that's tricky to make sure that I did it right. I don't want to put the wrong label on here. Just checking to make sure that I had the right label. I don't need to be shipping out the wrong stuff to somebody. That's a definite. Let's see here. Finding the labels after you print them is kind of a pain in the butt on Whatnot. Okay. One Whatnot order down. Like 19 more to go. Let's grab this next one. Our next person purchased 10 items and they paid $24 for their 10 items. So they definitely went for the lower end stuff. So they paid $10 or they paid $24 for 10 items. And we will start with 13. So they got Knockout Kings, 22. John Elway's quarterback. So obviously this person was looking for like the lower end stuff just to fill their collection. 24. Copy of Bases Loaded. 31. Got Stanley Cup. It's probably better if I just grab them all and then show them. Let's do that. So I got 54 and 56. 54 and 56. And 64. So again, they got 10 items. Here's the last three. They got Stealth. They got, what is this? Kung Fu Heroes. And they got Tecmo Bowl. So they went for the lower end titles, which is a great place if you want lower end stuff for your collections. Hop on Whatnot. You can get pretty good deals on the shovelware, the lower end stuff. Again, we're just going to remove all these. For these 10 items, they paid $24 before shipping. And if you're doing a Whatnot, what you want to really harp on is once you get some people that are making their purchases, you can run some of those lower end games that you may not even want to sell for $1 online. And if you say, hey, if you've already made a couple purchases, you probably got that free shipping enabled. So take advantage of that free shipping and get this dollar game to go with your other stuff. So it's a good way to mix some stuff in that maybe you wouldn't have even thought about listing online that wasn't worth your time. If somebody wants to pay $1 or $2 for it and they already have free shipping, might as well move it to them. Good thing I looked at this and counted because they actually had 3 more on this one. They had 2, 6, and 9. 2. They actually picked up 2 copies of Tecmo Bowl. The Tecmo Bowls probably went a little lower than they should have. But they picked up NBA Courtside and this Bugs Bunny game as well. So again, all 10 games, they paid $24. So they definitely got a good deal. And like I said, I get to move them quick. They get out of the store super quick. I don't have to take all the pictures. I didn't have to go through and clean them vigorously. They bought them as I showed them. Okay, let's see here. We'll do 2 stacks on this one. So get some of this bubble wrapped. Anybody else actually sell on Whatnot that's watching? Any Whatnot sellers? Get my box made up for it. Anybody outside the country watching me today? You know, earlier we had somebody from the Philippines. Mr. Thriftastic, thanks for the follow. I very much appreciate it. Anybody outside the country? Or my country, I should say. South Africa. Cool. I have a brother-in-law that works in the agriculture business, and every year he gets multiple guys that come from South Africa to work in the fields with him. They like spray fungicides and pesticides, that kind of stuff. Cool to see, though. South Africa. What time is it in South Africa? Right now, it is 9:27 here in the morning. UK, Dave Turner. I've been really enjoying English Thrifter, although he lives in the States now. He's from the UK. I enjoy his channel very much. He does the same thing I do. Garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, that kind of stuff. Okay. These 10 items, just want to make sure I'm getting them to the right person. Get that, hold this packing slip put in there. Okay, make sure, where's my shipping label? Should be the next one on here. It is. I just wanted to make sure. Again, sometimes I go a little crazy with the packing paper. But I don't like the stuff moving in the box. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it sounds. So I go a little overboard when it comes to my packing paper. Because we give that the shake test. Nothing's moving in there. If things don't move in the box, there's a good chance it's not going to break. Get that label on here. And another whatnot order down. Okay, moving on to the next one. Shout out from Philippines. I like the Philippines. We had another person from the Philippines. Thanks for joining in, small business. Okay, we've got 7 items for this buyer. Let's go back to my whatnot page so I can see how much they paid. $23. They paid $23 for 7 items. I'm going to grab all the items and then I'll show you what they got. So we got 6, 7, and 8. 5, 7, and 8, actually. 5, 7, 8, 11, 12, and 17. 11, 12. Where is my 17? Hopefully I didn't grab the wrong one already. My ink, if you can see, wasn't great when I was printing these off. I should have just looked off the computer, but we got 21 as well. That one is 27. So we got 21. I think what I'm going to do is the ones that I just shipped. I'm going to set this guy's to the side because I can't find one of his games, and then I'll take those 2 that I already shipped, and that way I can find it easier. So do not rely on my packing slips because I can't read them very well. Okay, moving on. This next one's going to be an easy one because they only bought 1 item, and it was number 14. So for $5, they picked up a copy of Pilot Wings on the 64. And it was an early game. Not early as far as like when it was made, but in the live, it was pretty early. I'm surprised they didn't try to get some more. So Pilot Wings. We can fit that easily in the 8x6x4. I don't like using bubble mailers for games, especially like the cartridge stuff. I don't want it breaking, cracking or something in transport. Okay. We're going to put a big piece of bubble wrap, not because I think it needs extra protection, but because it'll fill the box easier. because it's going to be kind of loose inside that box. Then this will fill it a little more so I don't have to jam as much packing paper in there. Put our packing slip on the bottom. Make sure that I'm sending it to the right person. Overdoing the packing paper, but that's okay. Thank you, Manimal Spirit, for the follow. Very much appreciate it. Also, Mr. Thriftastic, thank you for sharing. I just said who his name was. So used to just reading what I see. Okay. Get this fully taped up. Again, if you're just now joining, hey, good morning. Thank you, Manimal. If you're just now joining, we already shipped our eBay orders out. Right now, we're working on our whatnot orders. And this is all from one show that I did yesterday where we sold 100 items for $700. Okay, that one's done. Let's move on. Move on to this next one. I can close this eBay tab because I know we're done with eBay today. Put those over here. Next person. Oh, this is a big order. They ordered 19 items. 19 items for $167. So this was by far our best purchaser yesterday. And it makes shipping easy because I can put everything in the one box for him. So let's gather these up. We have 15, 23. I'll gather everything and then I'll show what he got. So 15, 23, 26. 15, 23, 26, 29, and 30. 29, 30, 32, 37. And these numbers that I'm reading off, just so you know what I'm doing, when we do our whatnot sale, we just do a generic video game, and we did 1 through 100. And then I put those in stacks of 10 so I can find them easy. And then once they sell, Brandon, my business partner, he goes through and puts a piece of painter tape on them. Like so. There's item 37, and then I can just remove those. We sold pretty much just video games, but we did mix a couple Pokemon things in. So after 37, we got 41. 41. Then we got 50 and 51. 52, 53, 55. And this person definitely got some deals. 57 and 59. And 74. 74, 81. Then 98 and 100. This was the big item that we sold yesterday. We ran that as our 100th item. Okay, that should be everything. So again, he ordered 19 items. Make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, we got all his items. Now let's talk about what he bought. Again, he spent $167. And so you can kind of see the deals. He got this PS1 long box game. He got these 2 empty cases. These were for free at a garage sale this weekend. He only paid like $1 a piece, but we got them for free. He got this PS2 game, this Complete in Box Atari Lynx game, Pugsy for Genesis. He picked up our import stuff, which these 3, I had no idea what they were, but he got these 3. And then an import Mario 3. The big item that he picked up was Gradius, Complete in Box. Again, we ran that as our 100th item as a thank you to everybody that stayed. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Race Driving, and Zelda. Burger Time and WrestleMania. Burger Time, WrestleMania. He got this 007. And, of course, you got to have Mario Duck Hunt. And I said we did run a couple non-video game things, and he picked up this Pokemon binder book. I think I paid $1 for this whole binder. We moved it quick. I think he paid like $6 for it. So not a lot of profit there. But we got rid of it. So let's get these stickers taken off now. Good morning if you're just now coming in. Already worked on our eBay orders this morning right now. We are shipping out our Whatnot orders. We had a huge Whatnot show yesterday. I'm going to sit this one to the side because I'm going to use the heat gun on that. Even though that painter's tape, or this is actually Scotch tape, even though it comes off pretty easy, I just don't want to damage a cardboard box. So better safe, and I'll take the heat gun to it and make sure it comes off. I'll do the same thing with this long box PS1 game, just because that tape is actually on like a cardboard. So we had some people from the Philippines. We had some UK in here. We had South Africa. Where are my people at from the States? I'm in Indiana. We got any other Indiana people in here this morning? Let me know where you're at. Massachusetts. How's the weather? Hey, Gene, I know where you're at. How's the weather up in Massachusetts right now? Never been that far northeast. Set that one to the side. Almost got all these stickers off. This was a big order. It's chilly, but beautiful fall. Nice. It's pretty cold here this morning. This weekend, we're leaving for Florida, so get that nice brown and oranges and the reds in those tree leaves. I don't know much about Massachusetts, honestly. Nice. We're in Florida. I'm going to Disney. We're taking the kids to Disney World. Okay, it's going to get kind of loud for a second. We're going to use the heat gun just to be safe and get this tape off so I don't damage the box. I don't think it will, but better safe than sorry. Just makes that tape come off way easier. If you don't have a heat gun for your business, I highly recommend you grab one. Helps get off sticker residue, labels that you don't want, price stickers you don't want. Helps get all those things off easily. Once you heat up the old glue on tape, it just comes off way easier. Okay, got all those removed. Now we start with the process of bubble wrapping. This is all going to have to go in a big box. Try to put these in similar. We'll do all of my NES games. So again, we're going to bubble wrap. I'm going to try to bubble wrap the same style or size of games. So we'll do all the NES games. I have a chemical that removes stickers, but I don't like the smell or how toxic it is. What is that chemical? I use Goo Gone on some stuff, but I pretty much just use that on like plastic items. I try not to put any type of liquid on cardboard. I'd be interested what that chemical is, though. Yeah, I avoid putting anything on cardboard that's liquid. But I think it's Goo Gone. Undo. Never heard of that. But does it work pretty well? Yeah, I would only use that on plastic as well. I just use Goo Gone on all my plastic stuff. I also use a lot of the magic erasers. So I'll put some Goo Gone on there, and then I'll use the magic eraser. Yeah, you need to pick up a heat gun for sure. Because if you can avoid using chemicals, the best thing you can do is use that heat gun first. A lot of the time, that heat gun will just remove it. Now, the one thing you do need to be careful with the heat gun is if it's a thinner plastic, the heat gun can actually warp the plastic a little bit. So just be careful not to put too much heat on it, because sometimes I've accidentally bubbled plastic using it. And my heat gun, like, you can get like a little heat pin. Mine's a little more heavy duty. So this sucker is pretty hot. I've definitely burnt myself with it a few times. Like, I sit it down and then try to pick it up and it burns the crap out of me. But I highly recommend getting one. Just be careful how you use it. And technically, you're saving some money, because if you're using the heat gun and not your chemical, that chemical is going to last longer. So it's always better to use something that's renewable. Renewable first, and then go. No problem for those tips. Okay, got all those items packed up. Like I said, that's not going to fit in a small box. So let me create a big one. The boxes I use, these bird buffets, came from my old job. And they were actually getting rid of all these because they were going to redo their marketing material. So they had like 3 skids full of this stuff. I hate when it makes me do this. There we go. Okay. Get this box going. Thankfully, this was the biggest order. This person definitely took advantage of that free shipping once they hit the free shipping. Okay. Get that layer. I'm still trying to work on not talking when I'm messing with the paper, because I know it's loud. Paper in there first. See here, just trying to maneuver this to where it all fits nicely. Okay, I think that'll do it. I got some going some different directions, but everything fits in that box pretty nicely. And again, say it with me, back to the packing paper. I had a guy not too long. Thanks for the follow, Cynthia. I had a guy not too long ago on my YouTube video, the replay of one of these lives, told us doing it wrong because I wasn't using newspaper. Well, nobody in my family buys newspapers anymore. I like the way the packing paper is a little thicker and forms to what I need. I just think it's a little silly to tell somebody they're doing something wrong. It's always okay to show tips or say how you do something, but to say somebody's doing it wrong to me is just crazy. Okay. He had 19. Oh, what's going on, Flip and Ship? Haven't seen or heard from you in quite some time. Flip and Ship is a local guy. I do. I agree, Cynthia. I think the packing paper is more professional. Flip and Ship, did you go to Turning of the Leaves this year? I didn't see you if you were there. Okay, get that in there. Again, always got to do the shake test. Nothing's moving in there. That means it's good to tape. Good to tape up. That's a quality packed box right there. Now just make sure that I've got the right person. Pretty sure. Yep, that's him. Another box down. Another box bites the dust. Okay. Flip and Ship, did you respond? Let me get back to here. Flip and Ship, were you at Turning of the Leaves this year? I want to know. Okay. Let's move on. Let's see what our next order is. That was the biggest one we had from Whatnot. This is a good price order. He bought 5 items for $93. 5 items. So we got 16. He got a steal on that game for sure. He bought that. He bought this. 40. Where's my, there's my 40. 40 worm. Where is it? Didn't see that one. There it is. You got that one. Am I missing one? 5 items. 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Got all 5 items. Missed it, man. Unfortunately, still reselling. Just too busy for YouTube right now. Hey, no problem. No problem. YouTube and social media definitely takes time. I'm glad to see you're still reselling, though. I hit your area every now and then. Okay. Let me talk about some of these items. So as I mentioned before on Whatnot, there's a good chance you're not going to get retail. There's actually a great chance you're not going to get retail. But you move stuff fast. And it's easy to ship, in my opinion, because you get multiple people that buy big orders. So it's way easier to get everything packed up together. So this buyer bought 5 items. And he spent $93. So this first thing here is just the box only. We actually got this box in the big festival that we went to, the Covered Bridge Festival. This was in a barn with like old Mego action figures. Like we got a Mego Aquaman. And I didn't realize it when I bought it. I mean, I only paid like $1 for this box. But it was missing one of the tabs. So the good thing is when we ran the Whatnot, I just said, hey, you're missing the tabs on these sides. But it had the important tab that actually has the name. But he got this. I think he paid like $40 for it. This copy Atlas game. 2 NES games. This worm, we started it. We were running everything for $1 start. We did more on this because this is like a $30 or $40 game, something like that. Now, he did get a steal on this one. I was a little bummed. This one's pretty dirty. So if I would have actually went through and cleaned it up, it may have went a little more. But we pulled this straight as we bought it. And I think it only sold for $11. So we did miss out on this one a little bit. But I want to protect this box. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold these tabs in. We're going to fold the tabs in, and then I'm going to put it in an extra layer of cardboard, because this is probably the item that this buyer, so this is how we're going to fold this up, and I'm going to sandwich it in between some cardboard. So I'm sure this is the item that he was most looking for to get to. That's a fairly hard box to find. So I want to make sure that I do what I can to protect this box. And it's okay that a little bit is sticking out there. The main thing that I'm doing is just making sure that it doesn't bend. So I don't mind that it's sticking out a little bit. It'll be fine just like that. That'll go directly into the box as that. I'm only going to put tape on one of these sides. I don't want the box to accidentally get stuck to the tape, but I do want to hold that cardboard down. And these other items, we'll just bubble wrap those together. Flip and ship, did you go down to Covered Bridge at all? Okay, so we got the 4 items bubble wrap there. Thanks for joining in, Heather. We're doing some Whatnot packages today. I think we'll stick that in one of these boxes. I do buy these from eBay. Appreciate you if you're just now joining in. We had 100 orders, not 100 orders, my apologies, 100 items going out Whatnot today. We've ran like 3 or 4 shows this past week on Whatnot. Okay, we're going to stick the box in first. Then a little bit of packing paper. Then the games on top. Make sure we get their packing slip in here, which looks like crap because I was running out of ink on my printer. Packing paper on top. Got to give it the old shake test. No movement, which is what I like. And tape it all up. Robert, thanks for joining in today. Doing some packing of my Whatnot orders. Just want to make sure that I'm shipping this to the right person. So he had 5 orders. I'm going to rip this off and put it over here. Okay. That's him. Get it all packed away. Another box down. Another box bites the dust. Okay. Moving on. Next person bought 2 items. And he has wrestling in his name. So I'm going to guess that they're wrestling type items. Let's see here. He got number 20 and 27. So he bought a copy of Qbert and a boxed copy of WrestleMania 2000. For those 2 items, he got a deal, I think. He paid $19. So $19. He got a complete in box Nintendo 64 game and Qbert for $19. Again, we're going to use our handy dandy heat gun just to heat up that tape a little bit, just so there's no chance that I'm going to destroy or damage the box in any way when I remove the tape that we added. That tape's only been on there for less than 24 hours, so it shouldn't damage it anyway, but just to be safe. Welcome if you're just joining in. Thanks, Evelyn, for joining. Appreciate you guys. Okay. Let's see here. Get these boxed up. We'll just go ahead. I don't think that'll fit now. We'll bubble wrap these two items together. Make sure I'm not missing any comments over here. Anybody in the room have any big sales that are coming up? Any garage sales, festivals, anything like that? I love a good festival because those bring town-wide garage sales. Nothing better than town-wide garage sales. Okay, we got that bubble wrap. I think that... I don't know if that'll fit in this box. Oh, yeah, that'll fit there. Pile of shirt. Thanks for joining. Shipping out some video games from Whatnot today. So we just shipped out Qbert and WrestleMania 2000. Just the two items. 20 and 27. Get that folded up. Thankfully, this one was already a pretty nice fit. So we just got to add a little bit of paper. Close it up. Give it the old shake test. No movement, which is what we want to see. And get it taped up. And then check to make sure that I'm sending this to the right person, and we don't want any boxes going where they're not supposed to. Is another box bites the dust. Welcome if you're just now joining in. Let me know where you guys from. We've had some UK, we've had Philippines, we've had my next door neighbors in Indiana, we've had Massachusetts. We've got people all over. I'd like to know where you guys are from as we grab the next one. Pretty good size order, 11 items. So if you're just now joining in, I'll kind of give you an example of what we're doing. When we sell an item, we do just a generic video game, and when it sells, we put a number on it. Then I stacked these up. We had 100 items going out. Florida, I'm heading to you this coming week, Florida, pile of shirt. So we have 100 items going out. So when it sold, Brandon would add a sticker with the number of the item. And then when I went to ship these, I stacked them up in 10. So I had 1 through 10 in a stack, 11 through 20, etc. Then my packing slips will actually say the number. So this person got 11 items. I'm going to pull them by number, and then I will show you what they got. So we got 25, 36, 38, and 42. There's my 42. We had 71 and 79. There's 79. There's 71. And then 91, 92, 93. 91, 92, 93. And they also picked up 97 and 99. 99 and 97. Okay, that should be 11 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, now to show you any vintage shirts today. No, this was mostly video games that I sold. We're not selling anything right now. We're just shipping stuff out. But I did a Whatnot 2 nights ago, and it was all vintage and Y2K clothing. So this was all video games. So I'll show you what this person got. Again, they got 11 items for $106. They got this Minecraft, Mario 2 with the manual, Mortal Kombat. We got Mario Kart and New Super Mario Bros. For the DS. They got some good classic games here. Diddy Kong Racing, Super Mario World. They got Blitz and Tetris. And they got 007 and House of the Dead. So they got some deals for sure. But we moved them quick, which is what we like. Again, they spent $106 on those items. $106. So we're going to get all these stickers pulled off. I could probably leave these on, but I'm sure it looks better to remove them. So I'm going to go ahead and take them all off. But we're not selling anything. We're just packing up our orders, chit-chatting about reselling. If anybody has any questions about my business, about my partnership with Brandon, because I mentioned Brandon a lot, garage sales, social media, if anybody has any questions, feel free to say them. Questions help these lives move along. My nose is starting to run, getting a little itchy. Make sure I didn't miss something over on YouTube and Facebook. Doesn't look like I did. Again, my apologies if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, and it's a little choppy. I've been trying to figure out how to fix that and been struggling a little bit. How many followers do you have on Whatnot? I'm pretty sure I'm around 220. I think that's where I was yesterday. So 220. I don't have a ton. We just started going a little harder on Whatnot. We ran our first show maybe a month ago, and it was a pretty small test run because we're not running our Whatnots from my house, which is easier because internet and electricity is very available. We've been running it from our storage unit, and we've been running it directly from our flea market. Okay, let's get these packed up. I'm going to try to put light size games together. So we'll do all of our ones like this. I appreciate it, Pile of Shirt. Like I said, we're trying to do all kinds of different Whatnot shows. Our most successful so far has been video games. Where do I see the vintage shirts you're selling? My links should be in my bio. So I have a link tree that can take you to eBay. It can take you to mine and Brandon's eBay. So anything that we have listed will be on there. We have a ton of inventory that's not listed. So if you guys ever watch my lives, my reels, and you see something that you want, TikTok is not the best place to message me because I can't send images on TikTok. So send me a message on my Instagram, and then I can show you pictures of items on there. We sell directly from Instagram. I can sell directly from TikTok, but you won't be able to see photos of it. But we sell a lot of that stuff through there. But anything that we have listed, you'll see on those pages. Just go look at my bio. I also ran a Whatnot show on vintage clothing 2 nights ago. So our goal is to do all kinds of different shows. So far, our most successful has been video games, but we did a movies only Whatnot, and we did pretty well on there too. So, but we have a ton of Squishmallows. We have toys. We're going to be trying to do all kinds of different shows. But give me a follow on there. Brandon, who is my business partner, is Indie Flip. That's INDYFLIP. Give him a follow on Whatnot because he also runs his own shows, and he ran some of our stuff out of his apartment. So give him a follow. He's also on Instagram. We're going to do 3 stacks on this one. Actually, let's get the box made so I can see how these are going to fit in here. Appreciate it if you're just now joining, though. We're chit-chatting about reselling, about Whatnot. But if you guys have any questions, I love seeing questions in here. I sell vintage action figures on Whatnot. Been very successful. Nice. We don't have a ton. Every now and then we get a really a really big purchase. Like we got a bunch of Transformers earlier this year. But every now and then we'll pick up some, but I don't see those as much as video games, actually. I find way more video games than I do vintage action figures. Might just have to do, yeah, we'll do 3 stacks on this one. Pile of Shirt, what do you feel like is the best action figures that sell for you? G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, He-Man? Is there a line of figures that seem to do better than others for you? We did really well on our Transformers. TMNT is my specialty. Nice. I got some TMNT figures laying around here somewhere, actually. I got a small tub of them. When I was growing up, TMNT was like one of my favorites. I always wanted G.I. Joes, but my family couldn't afford them. And I got a hand-me-down TMNT collection. I remember having like the whole sewer set from a cousin that didn't want them anymore. But TMNT and Power Rangers, those were like my 2 big ones. Okay, they had, make sure, 11 items. Just want to make sure that they're getting the right stuff here. So we had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this 00. Welcome. I can hustle all day. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you joining me. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry for the silence. I was just trying to make sure that I got this person all of their stuff because I'm sure they bought it. They're going to want it. I had one item that I didn't get bubble wrapped with the other stuff. Welcome if you're just now joining in. We're trying to appreciate the like on the live. Thank you so much. Trying to finish up some Whatnot orders. We ran a 100-item Whatnot show yesterday. We're just trying to get all these packed up. Appreciate the follow, Deb. The show went very well. We did 100 items and we made $700. So it's like $750. I feel like that was a success. We got some good followers out of it. The show ran smoothly. I think it went pretty well. Okay, just make sure I'm sending this to the right person. I had so many labels that printed out that they started to get kind of stuck. Okay, another box bites the dust. Another one down. I also ran a Whatnot 2 nights ago, and I just did clothing. That one was a little... It was kind of annoying at first. Basically, I had tubs just full of all kinds of different stuff. And since I'm new to Whatnot, I didn't really know how to do like the messages, and I didn't have any administrators on there. And I had the same people kind of bothering me about wanting specific items, and they just got on my nerves. So that one didn't run as smoothly. I did do like $300, so that was nice. But the clothing people, honestly, were a little more annoying than the video game people. The video game people seem to be a little more willing to see other stuff. The clothing people, they want, like, there was one guy that just wanted sweatpants or joggers, like vintage Nike joggers and stuff. Very, very annoying in that show. So I like the people that will go a little more with the flow of it and be okay seeing a variety of different items. I've been mixing clothing and hard goods. I do random only, no showing. See, that's definitely what I tried to do, but the chat was just so full of people will do this. And I would say over and over again, I'm not picking out anything that you guys are looking for. I'm pulling an item and selling it, but I did get snippy a couple times, unfortunately. I couldn't control that. This next person bought one item for $11. And it was item number 28. So they got Friday the 13th. Paid $11 before shipping. This will go in the small box. Yeah, I've learned you can't satisfy everyone, so I pick my float. Yeah, the more I do it, the more comfortable I get. It'll be fine. There were a couple pretty cool people in the room. But just, yeah, clothing people in general, I find aren't as willing to just enjoy a show and watch. They feel like they deserve you to pick the exact thing that they're looking for. At least that's the feeling I got from it. We did a movie show. We did all VHS, all DVD. People in there were really cool. They had genres that they wanted, but they were pretty open. Like horror movies are like what everybody wants. So it was a good show, but they pretty much just wanted horror. But even when we would put something else on there, like one time I tried to slip like a chick flick or something, they're still cool about seeing this stuff. So this one item went for $11. But yeah, my video game people, which is where my heart lies. That's how I got my start reselling, was video games. I've collected since about 2004, 2003, something like that. I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school when I started collecting video games. Let's see, this person. But I feel like my video game people are real cool. As long as it's a video game, they don't really care what you're showing. Some people have preferences, you know, they want cartridges or they want PS2, but we sold all kinds of different stuff to different people. Okay, that one item is done. Another box bites the dust. Let's move on here. I appreciate anybody that's staying with me today. We had a lot. Hustle, where are you based out of? You in the States? Next person. They bought 6 items, and I could not pronounce their name during the show. I'm listening while I'm at my full-time job. Nice. What's your full-time job, if you don't mind me asking? I'm in Texas. Got a good friend out in Texas. He lives in Houston. He trains rich people's dogs, actually. Let me see here. Let me pull these numbers real quick. We got 35, 39. Where'd my 30s go? Where's my 30s at? Oh, that's why. 35, 39, 46, and 48. 46 and 48. We got 62 and 78. 62 and 78. And that should be it. Should be 6 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm in the construction industry, many titles. Nice. My dad was a laborer when I was growing up. He was a pipe fitter, or not a pipe fitter. He was a pipe layer. And I worked one summer with him, and that was enough to never want to do construction again. I had a very bad experience with some people that are just idiots, honestly. I could tell the story about how that went, but that job was not for me. But I did work one summer in a union laying pipe. Okay, so this person bought 6 items for $19. They got Roger Clemens baseball. We got RBI Baseball 2, the Tenjin cart. 8 eyes, very damaged label. Dash Galaxy One of my favorites for the 64, Wave Race. That is such a good game. And NES Play Action Football. I'm on the computer, so no hard labor. The labor honestly didn't bother me. It was the people, which every job I've had, eventually it's the people that make it awful. It's never the job for me. I worked at a jail, and for 2.5 years, I loved that job. I loved the work that we were doing. It wasn't like super hard. It was fun every day. You never knew what was going to happen, but eventually the people are what ruin it. And that's how my last job was as well. I guess I'm just not a people person when it comes to working. That's why this job has fitted me so much. I can pretty much work solo when I want to. And if I need that interaction, I go garage selling or I work with Brandon. So I'm a full-time reseller. My last job, I worked with people with intellectual disabilities. I'm visiting Disney World. We're going down, me, my wife, and my 2 daughters. We're going to Disney this coming week. My last job, I worked with people with intellectual disabilities. I loved the job. I loved the people. It was a great job. And then I eventually had a boss came in that was a pain in my butt. So it eventually drove me away from that job. It's always the people for me. Benefits are holding me hostage. That was the scariest part. I do pay my own health insurance now. It's definitely a big cost, but it's something that I had to do. So I pay my own health insurance and I try to put money into retirement when I can. I need to be better at that. But the benefits are definitely something that holds a lot of people into that job. But for me, the freedom that I have as a full-time reseller is unbeat. Like right now, I can go live if I want. I can list if I want. I can go garage selling whenever I want. And then I can work overtime. And like I can get that money back up if I need to. I know if I need like some extra cash, then I can run a whatnot show and do that extra cash. But having that freedom to do whatever I want when I want is something that I'm never going to have with another job. The freedom in this line of work is just amazing. Okay, let's see. I think I can bubble wrap all these together. I think it might fit in this box. We're going to see how it looks. Left a corporate stable job after 7 years. Happy. Awesome. Congratulations getting out of there. It's nice to have that stable work for sure. A stable paycheck. I pay myself a bi-weekly salary that goes directly to mine and my wife's account. So I have to make sure that I have enough in there. That was kind of the agreement when I left my job. So sometimes funds get a little low because like me and Brandon, we may purchase a $5,000 or $6,000 lot of stuff. So I got to make sure I have that money to continuously pay myself. But it's been such a blessing to move on from that. Still building up my store, but love the freedom. For sure, you're always going to be building up. You're always going to be learning something. So Hertz, let me ask you this. Are you the type of reseller that'll pretty much, do you buy anything? Or do you try to focus certain niches? I've never found that the niche selling was right for me. Yeah, 4 kids. I have 2 kids. And it definitely matters what your spouse does as well, if you have a spouse. For me, she does have that stable job, and she gets paid pretty decent. So it's nice to have that backup when we need it, but I try to contribute equally. I don't think this, if I do, okay, I'm going to do 2 stacks on this. Let me pull up this in case I was missing anything. Sometimes I feel like I'm neglecting my Facebook and YouTube, but don't have a lot of comments on there. And thankfully, with this line of work, me doing the content creation, it's been a little bit extra income. I don't make a ton of money, but the reels I make do bring me some extra income. So that's been helping too. Again, not like I'm getting rich off reels or anything, but it's nice to know that if I want to take the time to make reels and do content creation, that I'm getting a little bit of money back for that. So if you ever want to support your local reselling and content creators, the best thing you can do, first, congratulations dipping into the content. I love it. I go out filming garage sales. That's the main thing that I like to do, and thrift stores and stuff. And I love seeing, and for me personally, I like watching people that find amazing deals. It motivates me to go out and hunt more. So if I see, if you guys like don't follow English Thrifter, he found an amazing video game haul, and one of the games is one of the rarest on the PS2. It's called Kuon, and he found that game for like $1. I don't get mad that he found that game for $1. It motivates me to go try to find that game for $1. So I love watching that content, which is why I love making that content. And here's a tip. If you guys have people that you enjoy watching, even if it's not myself, if there's content creators that you like to watch their content, the best thing that you can do for them is to comment on their videos and to like their videos. You could also share it. I know not everybody likes sharing stuff, but that is huge too. But if you just want to support them, comment on their videos and like the videos. The more comments that videos get, the better that it gets out to new people and the more money that they'll make. So if you have somebody that you like to support that does, so if you have somebody that you like to support their content, just like their videos and comment. It's pretty simple. Please give me Harley Davidson shirt. It is my dream shirt. No. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not giving away a Harley shirt. I don't even have the Harley shirts. If you're talking about the reel that I did, I sold all of those. And I forgot to put my packing slip in there. So let me cut this box open. I got distracted. There's one thing to keep in mind with these content creators. You know, some videos will do really well and somebody will make quite a bit of money off of it. The majority of the videos won't. They won't make any money. And there's a lot of time that goes into that, creating videos. You got the editing process. And if a content creator wants their stuff to do better, they're going to have to put the time in to respond to comments. And that takes a lot of time. So support your content creators, even if it's not me. I have a few that I really enjoy watching that I try to make sure that I'm commenting. I don't always do it, but I try that I comment when they do a video. Hate when I do that. Oh yeah, forget the packing slip. I don't even think the packing slip is that big of a deal, but I wanted to put it in there. What part of Indiana are you from? I thrift up in South Bend. I'm around Indianapolis. I'm down in the central Indy area. I've thrifted in northern Indiana, but it's mainly been the northwest side of Indiana. Thanks for sharing that live. Thank you so much. Thanks for liking it. Appreciate it. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I need to make sure that we get this person. Make sure I put the right label on here. Okay, another box bites the dust. Let's move on. The stack of games that I'm looking at is definitely getting smaller, which is nice. I think we've shipped out the main big orders. We have another 8 order coming up. Okay, this person bought one item. They bought video game 43. So their one item, I'm not really sure why they only got in on this one, but it's Circus Caper, and it's not in great shape. It's got stickers on it, labels kind of damaged. Actually, the cartridge is damaged. I wonder if I should probably message them. I don't know if we noticed that when we initially hung it up. I'm going to set that one to the side. We'll take their their packing slip, their label, and I will message them before I ship that out. I don't want them to get an item because I definitely did not mention that when we did it. Do you have the 127 sale? I haven't done it, but do the US 12. The 127. So I get them confused. There's one that goes through Indianapolis at G Hess for his close to Indianapolis near me, and he steals all my stuff. I don't steal your stuff, Sean. Knock it off. You're late. You're late to the party. The 127. I know that there's one that goes east and west through Indianapolis that I do. I don't think that's 127. Is 127 the one that goes through like Tennessee and Ohio? Because I've never done that one, if that's the one. I get the numbers mixed up, but there is one that we do. I think it's Highway 40 is the one we do. This person bought 5 items. They got 44, 47, and 49. 44, 47, 49. They also had 63 and 77. 63 and 77. I actually need to set this one aside too. When we sold it, there was a little bit of a rattle in here. So I got to find my security bit. I'm sure it's just one of the plastic tabs broke off, but I need to make sure that we get that plastic out. So we're going to set this one aside as well, which means their label gets put to the side. And their packing slip. Okay. Yeah, I haven't done Highway 40 yet. It's pretty good. I like that one. Yeah, longest is 127. Yo, Arizona Pickin', thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. We've got an order of 8 here. For everybody that's new coming in, I'll show you how I kind of do these whatnot orders. When we list them, we do generic video game, and we did 100 yesterday. So when it sells, Brandon puts one of these stickers on there with the name of it or the number. And then when we come back or when I come back to ship it, I stack these up in stacks of 10. So I had 1 through 10. I had 2 through 20. Then when it sells, I can go through and pick them pretty easily. So this person, they got 45, 60, and 61. This must be, there's 60. So 45, 60, and 61. 45, 60, 61, 66, 67. 66 and 67. 72 and 73. And 76. So I should have 8 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So let's see here. Less than 10 people watching. It doesn't matter how many people's watching. I still enjoy doing it. So I appreciate the ones that are in here. So if I worried about how many people watched, then I would never do these. So I enjoy talking to the people that are in here. Okay, so we got 8 orders. They spent $54 on all these orders. So they got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They were my PS2 buyer. We had SpongeBob and Wally. Thanks, Hertz. I appreciate it. We got Tasmania. This was probably the best one that they got. And Harry Potter. And a recommendation, when you run Whatnot, the one thing that we did is basically we said, hey, if we can hold 30 people in the room, we'll run this game. So we would run like a complete in-box game once we had a bunch of people in the room. And less than 10 people watching. No, I'm talking. No, I had up to 30 people at a time on Whatnot. So, and me selling it. So when I'm confused, Sean. When you sell on there, there's less than 10. I'm not sure what you mean. But one thing when you're selling on Whatnot, you can do is like I said, hey, we have a complete in-box Super Nintendo game. And if we hold 30 people in the room, we'll run that game. I can't even keep 10 people on Whatnot, so I don't do $1 starts. Hey, it takes time to build up. We definitely lost out on some stuff. We don't always get as much money as you can on there, for sure, but you move it quick typically. But you just got to build up that following, which is pretty hard to do. Okay, so like I said, this person bought 8 items for $54. 8 items for $54. Arizona clothes have been a bad time for me, so I went back. Clothes don't always do the best for me either, but I am the type of reseller that if I think I can make money on it, I'm going to buy it. Get out our heat gun. I sell all kinds of stuff. Clothing, underwear. I sell perfume, movies, tools. So if I think I can make money, I'll try it out. I'm constantly learning. I think that's one of the keys to being a reseller. You should always be trying to learn. If you're just now joining in, I appreciate it. We're packing up some orders from Whatnot. We already did the eBay orders earlier. Okay, let's see here. Get some of these bubble wrap. Trying to visualize how these would fit in the box. Hold on. I got lots of comments coming in. The measurements before buying. You don't like doing the measurements before buying? Is that what you're saying? What's your biggest find to date? That would vary. I've never found anything that sold for over $1,000, but I found lots of items in between $500 and $700. Do you have any Nintendo 64? Nintendo 64 games? Or do I have Nintendo 64 consoles? Because I think the answer to that would be yes to both. Do you test all games? On Whatnot, I do not test the games. But I also try to say that while we're doing the live, that everything is as we bought it from the sale. No, people don't look at the measurements before buying and they return stuff. Yeah, if you offer free returns, which I do as well, you're going to get people returning stuff that it doesn't fit. That's just part of it. But as long as you're offering those free returns, make sure that you're not giving them their shipping back. One thing I also do is I try to say when they open the return, I have automatic, so it just approves it. But I'll say, hey, just so you know, when you send this back, you're not getting your original shipping. So sometimes they don't even send it. But all of our games that we sell online, I try to test. I necessarily am not going to test every $5, $10 game. But if it's an expensive game, we test it. And we definitely test all of our consoles. I know that right now I have the ice blue Nintendo 64. TikTok Cooper, I have the ice blue one. We just put an original, like the normal black Nintendo 64. I would have to look it up. I'm not sure. I would do a little bit better than what it would be on eBay if you're buying directly on Instagram or something, because I'm not going to have to pay those fees. Wait, you can do that. Do you pay for return shipping on eBay? But then, okay. Let me catch up with these comments. So, do you pay for return shipping on eBay? So, when somebody opens a return, if you have free returns, when you go to refund them, you still have to pay the return shipping, but you do not refund their original shipping. So let's say I sell an item for $20 and it had $10 shipping. When the return happens, I have to send them a label, or it does it automatically. When they send it back, I only refund them the $20. I do not give them their original $10 that they paid to ship it. So no matter what, they're losing money if they return something because they're not getting their original shipping. TikTok Cooper, are you on Instagram? Message me on Instagram, and I'll try to look at that Nintendo 64 today. We can work out a deal for it. It's not going to be like cheap, but it won't be eBay prices. If you buy it off of Instagram, we can cut you a deal. So yeah, when you have those free returns, see, I do not do free shipping. I hate free shipping. Top rated seller. So I don't think you have to have free shipping to get top rated seller, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't worry about the top rated seller because I know that you have to do like 1 day handling and shipping, and I couldn't keep up with that. But I think you just have to have the 1 day handling for top rated. But I don't worry about top rated because I couldn't keep up with that 1 day handling time. Because there's times that, like I wanted to go to garage sales, and for me to keep up with that 1 day handling, I'm top rated. So there's definitely another layer. So it's the top rated plus, Sean. But there's definitely another layer. Top rated places 1 day handle. That's what I thought. Trying to figure out how to get these in here. There we go. But yeah, I couldn't keep up with that 1 day handling time because there were times that, something sold at like late at night, and then I woke up and they wanted it to be shipped out that day, and I had garage selling to do. So I cut back the 1 day. I'm in Indiana. So make sure I had everything here. Let's get this packing slip in here. They had the 8 items. I'm in West Virginia, or you're in West Virginia. I do 3 day handling as a top rated seller and charge shipping. Yeah, so I don't do free shipping on anything. I am not a fan of the free shipping. I used to play around with free shipping, but there were times that I'd have items on my store for a year, 2 years. And then when I would finally reduce those times, make sure I'm not missing anything over here. When I would finally reduce those items that had been listed for a long time, I'd get burnt on them because, I may lower a price by 30 or 40% eventually. And then if I had free shipping, I was losing money. So just by making them pay for shipping, I can send out offers and I can reduce prices without worrying that I'm going to be losing money when I ship it. But yeah, I charge shipping on everything. So these 8 items, just make sure I'm putting the right label onto it. This one's going to Jesus. Jesus bought some video games today. Another box down. So yeah, when it comes to returns, if you offer free returns, you have some wiggle room. You don't have to refund them their original shipping cost. And if they wear it and it's noticeable in any way, so like shoes, I've had people, I do have Facebook. You can find me Retro Rewinder on there. But if somebody buys a pair of shoes that I sold as new, and then they wear them for like 2 weeks and then try to return it, and it's obviously like the tread is worn down a little bit, there's scuffs on it, I automatically deduct 50%. So if I sell a $40 pair of shoes and they try to wear them and return them, then they're only getting $20 back and they're not getting their original shipping. So I don't have very many people trying that. But I do have people that will buy something and say it doesn't fit, and that's just part of it. when you have the free returns. Okay, next item. One item, but they paid $54. What did I sell for $54? Oh, Castlevania 2. I was like, what did we sell? So we sold Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge. This was a game we did not start at $1 because I didn't want to get burnt on it, but we started this one at $50. So we just changed that one listing. That way we didn't get burnt, but we sold this for $50 or $54. And I want to protect that manual. This one came with the manual, so I want to protect that manual as much as possible. So I just messaged you. Okay, I will message you later about that. So I'm just going to make sure that this manual doesn't get bent in any way. So we just did that. Put it in some cardboard so it doesn't get bent. Extra protection. We'll put it in a small box. And we're coming down to the end. I'm seeing we don't have a ton of games left. I'm sure we have Nintendo 64 games in our case. Like I said, when I message you later, I can give you some pictures of the console. I can send you some pictures of some games we have as well. Thank you if you're just now joining in. Trying to get some whatnot orders shipped out. I had 100 items going out today. So this one item that we just shipped was a Castlevania 2 for the Game Boy, and it sold for $54. Thank you so much, Hertz, for liking the live. I appreciate it. Running out of tape. Ran out of tape. Okay, let's get this on there, and then I'll grab another roll. Sure, this goes to the right person. The last thing I want to do is send something to somebody that they didn't get. Okay, another box down. Let me grab some tape. I seem to mention this every time that I change out one of these, but I really love this thing. If you guys buy one of these, this has been amazing for me. I hate tape guns. This is basically a desktop tape dispenser, but it uses like the packing tape. So I love using this thing. One of my favorite items that I got for shipping. I hate using tape guns. Now, where the heck is the... There it is. Trying to find the start of the tape. Okay, moving on. Next order was for 5 items. We have game 58. 58, Popeye 2 for the Game Boy, which is there. Let's see, we had 68. Where are my 60s at? There we go. 68, 69, and 70. 69 and 70. And that should be it. 5 items. Yep, 5 items. Okay, so this person, they purchased 5 items and paid $48. So they got Ghost Rider, Ben 10, X-Men Wolverine Origins, Fallout 3 Game of the Year with the slipcover, and they got Popeye 2. Popeye 2 with the manual. Remove this tape. If you're just now joining in, I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for liking the live. Thanks for the follows and the shares. I mentioned it earlier, but the best thing you can do for a content creator is to comment and like those videos. So I appreciate it when you guys like the lives, and all the comments help these lives flow a little better. Okay, just like we did the Castlevania 2 that we just sold, we had a couple pieces of paperwork. This was a poster that went with it. We're going to put that in some cardboard just to protect it extra. Is that enough? Yeah, this one will do it. It doesn't necessarily like need to be hidden. As long as it's going to stop it from folding, that's what we're looking for. So we'll put it like so. Extra protection. Now that manual is not going anywhere. We don't want that manual to bend in any way. And they get the plastic case with it. That'll go in a small box. So these, actually, I forgot they got a little more. Let me see if all this will fit in a small. I may have to do a bigger one for it. Nope, that'll fit. We can put it in the small box. Thank you for liking the live, Alberto. Appreciate it very much. Any questions about reselling in general, my business, anything? Make sure I'm not neglecting my YouTube and Facebook people if they're on. Gordon, welcome. Welcome, Gordon. Finishing up our whatnot orders. We've got some more games to do. We've sold 100 items just yesterday on whatnot. Okay, let's get this packing slip in here. Five items. Gotcha. Fold that packing slip up. Thank you for just now joining. Getting this shipping done. We did our eBay orders first, so if you want to see what we sold on eBay, you can always watch the video later. It should be on YouTube and Facebook. It's all packed up nice and tight. And we'll make sure we get that correct label on there. Don't want to send this to the wrong person. This one's going to Josh. Aren't you worried with putting the manual like that they'll accidentally throw it away? No, I'm not worried about that. You can see the manual popping through, and they're obviously, when they get their package, they're going to check, and if they know that they were expecting manuals, that they're going to look for it. But I feel like that's the best way to ship it without it getting damaged, is putting it in that cardboard like that. Thanks for the gift, Alberto. I don't really know much about the gifts. It's only the second time I've seen something like that, but I appreciate it. Still kind of new to doing the lives. So another box down. Very much appreciated. I need to learn how those gifts actually work, because I've gotten one another time and I don't really understand them. I'm kind of a noob when it comes to these lives still. Okay, let's move on. This person only bought one item for $4. One item for $4, and they got game number 65. So for $4, they got this Snoopy game. This will obviously be a real easy ship. Thank you so much for liking the live. Appreciate any of the gifts. Thank you guys so much. Very appreciative of that. Okay, the one game should go in a small box. No problem. We got Snoopy in the box. Find the packing slip for it. There's the packing slip. Top it off with the paper. Another box down, just get that label on there. And again, we're going to make sure that we're sending it to the right person. This one's going to Michael. So thank you, Michael, for the purchase. Another box down. Me and Brandon dropped off so many packages yesterday. The lady at the post office was obviously annoyed with us. They have these big wheeling carts, and we each filled up one cart. So we had 2 full carts of just our stuff because of all the whatnot shows in the holiday. Another one item purchase for $3. They got game 75. So for $3, they got this Harry Potter game. I made a point to say that they were getting this receipt when they bought this game for, I think it's like Retro Jake's Collectibles. So that receipt's at least worth $0.25. So they're getting that. I am going to put this one in a bubble mailer, and I'll show you how I ship games with the bubble mailer. So what I do is I always open it up, and I take a piece of bubble wrap. I'm going to fold it in half. And it's going to sit in there like so. That way this disc won't spin in the case. So there's no spinning in the case at all. And then we'll put it directly into the bubble mailer. It was only a $4 game. I'm not too worried about this one. I do refuse to ship cartridge games in a bubble mailer, though. Do you mark it with the black light? Do you mark it with the black light marker for the old switcheroo? What do you mean? Do I mark what with a black light marker? I'm not sure what you're asking. Do I mark it with the black light marker? Okay, let's see here. $3. This one, I'm not going to put the packing slip in there, but this one goes to Josh. So in case they try to switch it with another game that is damaged and keep your game. No, I don't. I've never really had issues with that. If somebody's going to try to scam me over a $4 game, then I guess they're going to get away with scamming me over a $4 game. But I don't worry about that. It's not really worth my time to put that much effort into a game like that. And I've never had issues with nicer games, people doing that. Okay, next item. So they got 2 items on this order. They paid $17 total. So they did 80 and 89. 80 and 89. So they got a copy of Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64 and a sealed copy of Overwatch. So that's what they bought for their $17. Get this tape off here. So these 2 games, we'll bubble wrap those together and they'll go in a small box. Get this bubble wrapped into the box. Anybody have any big plans for garage sales this week? Estate sales coming up, anything like that? There's, again, town-wide garage sales kind of near me, but I'll be on vacation, so we're not going to be doing them this time. So, 3 estate sales this week, and I'm stoked. Nice. Are you going to try to do all 3 in the same day? Are you the type of person that goes to one of those estate sales and then quickly moves on to a new one? Typically, when me and Brandon go to estate sales, we try to be like the first ones in. We're never the first because you got to be there pretty early. But then we're normally one of the last ones to leave, too. Because a lot of the times we find some of our best finds after everybody's kind of cleared out. And we're able to take our time and look for deals while we're in there. So that one was there. So they've got 2 items for the $17. Make sure this is going to the right person, which was Caesar. Caesar bought this one. Yes, the plan is all 3 in one day, going to be early to the one of the better ones. I live in very rural. I linger and go through the house. Yeah, that's what we do too, Felix. We linger. So have 4 major cities, north, south, east, and west of my home. Gotcha. So here in Indiana, I've mentioned this before, but our estate sales kind of suck because we only have like 5 estate sale companies, and there's normally only like 3 estate sales in a given day. So there's so few sales that everybody hits like the main ones. And there's one company that has pretty good prices, but you know, it takes like hours to get in there. Sometimes you have to be super early and get a number to even get into the house on that first go. And there's so many people. It's not very fun at all, but we definitely linger and we go through the house multiple times. And that's where we find some of our best stuff. Okay. This one was going to Caesar. Just make sure I'm getting this out to the right person. Estate sales for me is like a last resort. If there's ever garage sales, I will choose garage sales 100% of the time over estate sales. There's a couple of the companies that are decent priced and you can get in kind of early, but there's just so few estate sales around here that anybody that wants to go, they're all going to those same like 3 sales. So it's always busy. Okay, next person. They literally bought 1 game and paid $1. And they got game 82. So what did they bought a PC game. We got this for $0.25 a couple weeks ago. So $0.25, and they paid $1. Plus they had to pay the shipping. No manual on it. They literally just got this Mortal Kombat 2. So we're going to put some bubble wrap in here. So that way the disc isn't going to spin, and we'll put this into a bubble mailer. So one thing I do with these jewel cases when I put them into the bubble mailer, I do take a little bit of cardboard and I put a small layer of cardboard. Just because those jewel cases can get cracked a little easier. So again, I just put a little extra layer of cardboard on there just to protect it from getting cracked. And I'm not going to put a mailer in that. Or a packing slip, I mean. So another package down. Another one down. let's see. We're coming down to the final 3 orders. This person bought 3 items. They got 83, 94, and 95. So they got some handheld stuff. They got this Game Gear game and 2 DS games. So 2 DS games and a Game Gear game. They paid $14 total. So $14. And if you're just now joining in, we sold 100 items on Whatnot. So we've been packaging those up the last couple hours. These can all go in this small box. I really appreciate you guys if you've stayed in here for a good amount of time with me this morning. Appreciate anybody that enjoys watching this with me. Okay, let's get this bubble wrap. If you're not following me on Whatnot, go ahead and follow me on Whatnot. You never know what deals you're going to get on there. There were a couple people that got some really good snags of these video games. Okay, this one was the 3 items. Packing slip. Packing paper. The good old shake test. Nothing moves. Good to tape. Okay, make sure this is going to the right person, which is, where's their name at? There it is. Okay. 2 more orders to go, and then we're all done this morning, finally. Appreciate you if you shared the live or liked the live. Okay, this person bought 1 item for $2, and they got Game 84, which was a PSP import game. No idea what the game is, but that's what it looks like. It has a tank on it. We'll put a little bit of bubble wrap in there. This will go into a bubble mailer. No problem. I actually remembered to fold up the packing slip. So we'll put the packing slip in there with it. Straight into the bubble mailer. They only paid $2 for that import game. And moving on to the final order. We've made it through all 100 items. Technically, we've made it through 95 items. Now we just got to get this last bit up. So hopefully this came out right, and these should be the last games. But let's see. 86, 87, and 88. 86, 87, 88. And 90. What about 85? There it is, 85. So they got 4 import games. No idea what they are. I know one of them was Ape Escape. But there's the games that they got. Plus, they got a copy of Need for Speed. Need for Speed on the Xbox One. So, final 5 games. Again, if you've been watching this whole time or you've been in here for a while, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Welcome, Princess. Just coming in towards the end. I'm actually finishing up. We just shipped out 100 plus items from Whatnot and eBay. This was the final stack going out. So we had 5 games to top off everything that we needed. I appreciate everybody that was in here today. Everybody that I missed one over here. Sorry about that. Rocks Let's see. Just bought a lighter. Just bought a lighter from me. Is that what you mean? How many orders per day do you get on eBay? So I have 2 eBay stores. I have a personal eBay, and I have an eBay that me and my business partner share, Brandon. I don't know the exact amount that we've been averaging, but for my personal eBay, it's not much because I haven't been attending to that one very often. So it's like anywhere from 2 to 5 orders a day. Mine and Brandon's is much better. We normally do like 10 orders a day on there. Sorry, I missed your comment initially. Okay, get these bubble wrapped. Again, this was the last one going out. I did have a couple that didn't have the right games there, so I'm going to have to see what I did. Thankfully, I caught those pretty early, though. So there's probably a game hiding in the wrong box, but I caught that on like order 3. So, okay. The final 5 items. No problem. So, Rocksta, did you buy a lighter off me? Is that what you meant? Or you just bought a lighter in general? Thanks, Vintage, for giving me a follow. There's the last box. Make sure it should be the last label I have, but you never know. And did I miss one? I have an extra label for some reason. That's not good. Got to figure out what I did there. But this was the right one. I just checked. Did it print an extra? Oh, because I'm an idiot. I didn't take off the label and put it on that PSP game. So that was definitely the PSP game. Going... Yeah, I just forgot to pull off the label. I was like, why do I have an extra label? You could watch me mess up my shipping in real time. Okay. Everything is shipped out now. So that is going to be the end of the live today. I went for quite some time because I had a ton of orders. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Everybody that decided to leave me a comment or like or share the video, super appreciative of all of you. If you haven't given me a follow and you're still watching, make sure you follow me on all the social media platforms, especially Whatnot, where you can get some of these deals that we shipped out today. Thank you so much, and we will talk to everybody on the next live. Thanks, guys.